Quick test. Can you guys hear me okay? Is audio clear? There's a bunch of yard work going on next door, so I want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. Okay, a little echo. Let's see. Ah! Okay, 1 second. Is that any better? I'm going to try one more thing after this. Is there still a big echo for you guys? Quick sound check. Do you guys hear a big echo? Or is it clear? No echo? Okay. Stacy, do you still hear an echo? I know you heard one. Okay. Okay, all right, cool. We will try it. If it gets crazy, just tell me and I will make an adjustment. All right, we're gonna get started here. Okay, guys, thank you so much for hopping on. Welcome to the Thursday afternoon team call. For those of you who might not know me, my name is Brittany Leggett and I am the proud founder of this team, Dynasty United. I am a 15-star coach. I have been a coach for a little over 3 years now. And I've hit a lot of milestones with you guys as our team. And so I was thinking recently about just a few things and kind of hearing some feedback from some of my personal coaches. I kind of had this flashback as a nurse, and those of you who work in the medical field or especially in the nursing field, you can relate to this. And I was kind of feeling, and even myself, this month of May, I wouldn't say this month is my strongest month as a coach. I would say I'm having to be a little more creative. I'm having to do things a little bit differently. I'm having to approach my business a little bit differently, and I'm having to be patient in the process. And so with all of these things, it kind of reminded me as life as a nurse, just like everyday life as a nurse, especially hospital nursing. What happens is if you have a patient that just goes south and everything kind of just, you start your shift and everything's fine, and then all of a sudden everything is going wrong. If you as the nurse start to panic, you are completely useless in that situation. Not only are you useless, but you will probably be a detriment to that patient. And so for me, there are so many parallels in the nursing field and in this business. Not just time management, but the focus on people and wellness, but also what you do in crises, or what you do when when things aren't going well, how you handle yourself. There's just so many parallels. And so obviously as my background as a nurse, that's what I immediately thought of. I thought of, when things aren't going well in our business, whether it's my business or my coach's businesses that I'm trying to mentor and trying to help, I notice some pretty clear signs. I notice them start to panic. Whether it's they're not advancing in their rank like they wanted to, or maybe it's Success Club related, or maybe it's income related, or maybe it's even way before that. Maybe it's the kind of interaction they get on their Facebook pages or their posts. And so when things aren't going well, they begin to panic, and then they sort of spiral out of this zone of confidence, and then they become paralyzed in their business. And once we become paralyzed in our business, we're kind of in trouble, because then we're not only trying to work on our business, but then we have to sort of get ourselves out of this crisis that we're in. So I kind of wanted to talk to you guys, just kind of shoot straight with you about what are the things that I see so common with how you yourself get paralyzed in your business, and how to come out of that. So I don't know if anybody feels that way right now, but I hope if you do, I'm hoping you're going to grab pen and paper, and you're going to just kind of soak this in and apply what needs to be applied to your business. So for a quick sound check as I'm screen sharing, just make sure that you can hear me. There's a lot of weird stuff going on in my neighborhood this afternoon with internet and power lines. So just let me know that you can hear me okay. So we're going to talk about business paralysis. I'm going to talk to you about my, just sort of where I see the most common issues, why people begin to just kind of freeze up in their business. I feel that its first thing is they feel overwhelmed from the start. They're new coaches and they feel like there's a lot of information. They're not exactly sure if this is really a great fit for them yet. They feel a little bit weird about, where to start. They feel overwhelmed. And so that can paralyze somebody. The second thing is they got off track. A coach gets off track both in their fitness and in their business. And once you get off track, we all know it takes a lot of self-discipline and mindset, positive mindset, to get yourself back on track. So a lot of times I see coaches get off track with their fitness, whether they gain weight or they go through a health thing or they have a challenging season of life or whatever it is, and they get off track with their fitness journey. And so that translates into their actual business growth. And same thing as a leader, as a coach who's building, an entrepreneur who's building a business. When you get off track in your business, you start to sort of slow down, or you start to freeze up and question yourself. The third thing that I see a lot of coaches struggle with is once they miss a goal, they feel paralyzed. Whether it's a monthly goal or a big quarterly goal or even something bigger. Or even something smaller. It doesn't really matter the size, but when they miss a goal, they begin to feel this sense of paralytic, they can't go forward. They just freeze. Number 4, coaches on their team begin to quit, or coaches on their team begin to go inactive. And so this causes the leader to be paralyzed and feel like, oh gosh, I don't know if I'm a good enough leader, or I don't know if I am, doing this right, or if I have something that I can, hang on to and really grow from. Are you guys not hearing me okay? I'm not sure. I see a lot of issues with that. Let me just do something different here. Is that better, you guys? Can you hear me okay right now? I'm sorry, I hate to pause in the middle of it, but I just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. Okay, so number 1, new coaches, they feel overwhelmed from the start. Number 2, they get off track with their fitness or with their business. Number 3, they missed a goal. Number 4, coaches on their team quit. It wasn't a good fit, or they just quit, or they go inactive. And then number 5, people become paralyzed in their business when they reach a big goal. So I know that might sound counterintuitive, but that's true, and that happens quite a bit. It's happened to me as well. So I want to power through this because I think a lot of you can relate to this. So the first one I want to talk about here is that feeling of being overwhelmed. If you're a new coach on this call, we hop on these calls every single Thursday, and the goal is for you to have a 30-minute power session of encouragement, of some sort of tip, some sort of action step that you can take away and apply to your business and get a little closer to your goals. So if you're a new coach here, you might really be able to relate to this. You might feel very overwhelmed. You might not know where to start, or you might see a million groups and not know exactly what's priority. You might see all these terms that you're unfamiliar with and not quite sure how you're ever going to understand or how you're going to tackle these things. So I want to tell you that that's normal. I want to tell you that feeling overwhelmed is normal, and it's not a bad thing. I don't know when feeling overwhelmed got to be a bad thing. In any stage of our lives, we all feel overwhelmed. And you guys know the cheesy quote. It's like, how do you grow a muscle? You overwhelm it. In order to build a muscle stronger, you have to overwhelm it. You have to lift more weight. And that's the same thing in your business. To be overwhelmed is not a reason to quit. It's not a reason to back up. It's a reason to hunker down and say, you know what, I feel overwhelmed, but I'm challenging myself. I'm opening up my comfort zone, and I am stepping outside of it because this is challenging for me. So how do you get through that overwhelmed feeling? It's very simple. You simplify. Everybody feels overwhelmed in the beginning. And I don't mean that to say you're not special, because you're super special, but you're not special in that. You're not isolated in that. Every coach, I started there too. Every coach has to start somewhere, and it can be overwhelming. It can be especially overwhelming when you're on such an awesome team with so many resources, but you've got to be your own CEO and learn to simplify. So my recipe for getting over this overwhelmed feeling is to use a simple tracker. If you don't have a tracker, then that's your first mistake. So grab a tracker. If you don't know where to get a tracker, go to the team website and print off the one that I use. It looks like this. Let me screen share real quick. It looks like this. It's super, super simple. The only thing you're tracking are 3 of the vital behaviors: your workout and your Shakeology, your personal development, and 3 engagements, connecting with 3 people a day. And some people think this is over simple, and that's fine. If that's not your thing, that's cool. But to me, if you master this for 21 days, I guarantee you're going to be pumping that well and building momentum in your business. So grab a simple tracker, you guys. Don't skip that, because that will help you immensely. Simple tracker. The second thing is just share your personal journey. And, you know, I'm guilty of this as a veteran coach now. I get away from the basics sometimes. And so I love doing these calls, because I'm like, yeah, I need to do that. All of us need to be doing this. All of us need to be sharing our personal journey on a daily basis. And I know some of you might be able to relate to me, but sometimes in my life, there's not a super exciting thing going on that day, or there's not a super pretty post to take, you know, or picture to post about. And so I get that. And, you know, there's only so many selfies you can post with your kid or with your dog. But that's sort of the challenge of the business. You gotta figure out how to kind of break the mold, how to, maybe when you're having a great day, you're feeling very creative, you take a ton of pictures and you save them for a week that feels a little more dull, or it's raining outside every single day, or whatever it is. But share your personal journey. As a new coach that's feeling overwhelmed, you've just got to practice the 4 vital behaviors. I mean, you don't have to be a master at them yet. You're new. You're brand new. So, but you've got to be practicing them. If you don't know what they are, that's the first step. So practice those 4 vital behaviors. That means you got to put yourself out there. Usually people feel overwhelmed because there's too many tabs open in their brain. You know, it's like you've got too many things that you're thinking about doing, but you haven't actually done. I don't know if anybody can relate to that, but I know that's me. When I'm procrastinating, that's when I'm feeling overwhelmed, because I'm not actually taking action. You know, once you start to take action, you check that stuff off the list. You know, once you post your first challenge group invite, you check it off the list. It's not bogging you down, or, you know, adding another thing to your to-do list, which is going to contribute to you feeling overwhelmed. So make sure that you are taking action and practicing these 4 vital behaviors. No one is perfect at first. Trust me, I was terrible at first. But the only way I got better is practicing. And now I do them in my sleep. Now I can do them blindfolded with my eyes closed. But it's because I put the time and the effort into practice. And then the 4th thing, if you're feeling overwhelmed and that's causing you to feel paralyzed in your business, you've got to plug into the team. So you got to show up here for team calls, or you got to make sure you prioritize listening to the recording. National Wake Up Calls are every single Monday, and there's always something amazing that I take away from National Wake Up Calls. I've been a coach for 3 years. I've hit every big goal in the business, and I am still on National Wake Up Calls. And that's not to be cocky. That's to say everybody needs to be learning. We've all got to be open to learning and growing and hearing other people's perspectives, because on a month-to-month basis, not every month is the same in your business. You might come across this month or next month and need to switch things up. And so if you're plugging into these team calls and these National Wake Up Calls, you're going to have an arsenal of ideas. So plug into the team and plug into the team website. You know, if you don't know about the team website, you're either brand new or you're under a rock. So look in the coach family. There's a pinned post there. You can get all the information right there. But soak that up. Use that to your advantage. If your coach hosts a coach training, that should be your go-to group. Every other group should be on hold if your coach is hosting a training. I see too many times my coaches say, yes, I want to be in coach training. I'm going to dive in. I want to learn all about this business. I want to help a lot of people. And then they are in the training, and then they show up maybe once a week. And then they're telling me that they feel overwhelmed. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm saying this in love, but you're feeling overwhelmed because you're not allowing yourself the opportunity to learn. And if your coach doesn't host a coach mentorship training or some sort of new coach basics training, that's what the team website is for. And that's what the Coach Online office has a ton of coach training in as well. So that's really no excuse. But if you're feeling overwhelmed, do these 4 things. Simplify, you know, cut out the blog, cut out the YouTube, cut out the whatever else, and just master and simplify the basics. And I guarantee that feeling of overwhelmed will go away once you start to take some action. Okay, you get off track. I've done this probably 5 or 6 times now in my journey of specifically with my fitness, because, you know, we're human. So sometimes coaches get off track with their fitness. Sometimes coaches get off track with their business. Life gets crazy. Their family really, really needs their attention. And it's not something that you should feel guilty about. It's just something that you need to be aware of. You're your own CEO. You're an entrepreneur. So if you are someone that got off track, again, whether it's with your personal fitness or with your business, it's up to us to ask for accountability. And so the ways that I see that being most effective is, you know, reaching out to your success partner. If you don't have a success partner, that's the first step. You know, reach out to your success partner and be like, look, success partner, I got off track with X, Y, and Z. I haven't invited in 3 months. So on Friday, could you put an alarm in your phone just to text me and ask me if I've invited my 20 people? Because I'm serious about this. This week I want to invite 20 people. Whatever it takes, ask for accountability. Another example is hop into a challenge group. Be a challenger. I can't tell you a better thing for your business than a personal transformation. And if you don't have a personal transformation yet, there's still time. You know, every month is a new month. Every week is a new week to have some sort of transformation. There's a 3-day refresh. You don't have to go 21 days or 60 days to have results. You can do a 3-day refresh. And before you get mad at me, it doesn't even have to be physical. You can have a transformation that starts more on the inside, and then you can work your way to more physical transformations or physical proof. But ask for that accountability. Hop into a challenge group, because you are the one person that can build your credibility. And so when we're talking, and trust me, I'm talking to myself here, so don't feel like I'm just harping on everybody else. But when we are promoting a healthy lifestyle, when we're talking and inviting people to reach their fitness goals, yet we ourselves have never, in anybody else's eyes, reached a fitness goal, people start to question. People start to question the credibility that we have. Like, if Brittany hasn't moved forward in her fitness journey, why should she help me in my fitness journey? And I know that's kind of harsh, but that's the truth. If we're really open to it and honest, that's what people are thinking. And so we've got to be leaders and go first. So ask for the accountability that you need. So again, if you need to be a challenger in a challenge group, be the best darn challenger your coach has ever seen. You know, ask your upline, like, hey, upline, I'd like to send you my tracker every Thursday for the next month because I've been slacking. You don't need to respond to me, but just know I'm going to text you every Thursday afternoon with a picture of my tracker. I need to do this for myself for accountability. Another thing that you can do is make your goals public. I know when I've done this before, whether it was when I was going to eat a salad. I hate salad. For those of you who don't know me, I'm just not a fan of salad. But I did this, what did we call it? Go Green or something. Dynasty United did a salad a day for a month. And so I did that as a public goal. And once I made that public, I could not go back on it. Or I could, but I would feel really embarrassed. And so I made that goal public. I know that's like a really silly, sort of example, but maybe you have a goal maybe you have sort of a habit of quitting a program too early or switching out the program too early and it bugs you. And you really want to finish 21 Day Fix, start to finish, without skipping. So make that goal public. Lindsay Goins just did this recently in my PS coach group about recruiting. She made a goal public. And so once you do that, and you'll hear Chalene Johnson talk about this all the time, but that public goal setting is the ultimate accountability, because even if nobody actually cares, you know that you put that out there. And so you have that elevated sense of accountability because you don't want to let somebody else down, or you don't want to go back on your word. So make your goals public. And then the last thing, when you get off track with your fitness or with your business, create some short-term goals. If you're a brand new coach and you're talking about Diamond, maybe scale that back and say, you know what, I'm going to add my first coach by May 31st or May 25th. Create those short-term goals so that you can get some short, quick wins under your belt and you can feel good. That will build your confidence. Or maybe it's with your fitness, like short-term goals. I'm going to do my workout before 8 a.m. every morning this week. And then take it 1 week at a time and go like that. Just create really short-term goals. Instead of saying I'm going to finish the entire program without skipping anything, talk about your week or talk about your day. Instead of talking about Diamond, Star Diamond, quarterly bonuses, talk about when is your next coach? When are you going to push yourself to make sure that somebody gets this gift, this opportunity under their nose this week? How many people are you going to invite? Create really short-term goals, simplify your actions, and you'll get right back on track. So another reason people feel paralyzed in their business is because they miss a goal. Man, all I want to say to that is welcome to the club. I mean, I mean this in love, but when I hear people say, oh, it's just kind of hard for me, I'm like, okay, I love you, but that's the most self-involved thing ever, because it's not just hard for you. I promise you, reaching goals is hard for everybody. It's not easy. I mean, maybe some people it's easy, but most of humankind, it's not easy to reach goals. It's not hard just for you. It's hard for everybody. It's challenging. But you know what? That doesn't make it impossible. Obviously, you see people. This is the thing. I can't remember what book this is from. So if somebody remembers, maybe you can type it out. But it might be GoPro. But if you see other people getting results from the products that you're using, it's not the product, it's you. If you see people making money doing what you're doing, it's not the compensation plan, it's you. And that's the truth. And so we know our products work. We know the business structure works. It's a matter of whether or not we have the tenacity and the resiliency to stick with it when we miss a goal, when we fall short. When I've missed goals, maybe it's Success Club and that really burned you because you were on track for Success Club All-Star. Or maybe it was Diamond by a certain date for Summit Recognition or Star Diamond and it really burns you. And then, the bigger the goal, the harder the fall. You guys, I have had my share of missed goals that have just kind of rocked me to the core. So I'm speaking from experience here. Or maybe you're in a Star Diamond qualification that's going to mean the difference of you earning an extra few $1,000s in a bonus, and you fall short by one person, whatever it might be. When you are building an amazing business, when you miss a goal, it hurts, it stings. But all I got to say is welcome to the club. And the rebound is almost always better. Speaking from experience, the rebound is almost always better. But you don't get a taste of that rebound if you just stop, if you just allow yourself to be paralyzed. So when you miss that goal, assess it. Why did you miss the goal? Was it in your control? Did you give yourself enough time to reach the goal? Reevaluate. Could you have woken up a little earlier, or could you have said no to a couple other extra things, or could you have maybe learned a little bit better a certain skill that you needed to succeed the first time, or was it simply out of your control? Many times in my business, when I've gone for a rank goal, I've had to say, you know what? I don't think we're ready for this yet. It's not that I don't believe in the team. I 100% believe in the team, but my team needs more time. And sometimes you've got to be a leader enough. I'm not like, patting myself on the back, but just from my experience, you've got to be okay with saying, you know what? I want 10-star more than anything, or I want 15-star more than anything. But right now, I don't feel like my leaders are in a season of push. We need to kind of come together, learn a little bit, dig a little bit deeper, and then come up for air maybe in a month or maybe in a week. It might be short term, but be able to evaluate where you're at and why you missed the goal, and if any of that was in your control. A lot of times it's not, and sometimes it is. I think it's usually probably half and half. We can always work a little bit harder, but if you're missing goals and you're feeling paralyzed from it, I just want to tell you, welcome to the club. All of us miss goals, but the rebound is way sweeter. Okay, so the fourth reason I feel people sort of get paralyzed in their business is because their coaches quit, or their coaches start to go inactive. You guys, I don't want to tell you how many coaches I've had sign up and quit, sign up and then text me they got to take a break, sign up and then never show up. I mean, it can mess with you mentally. It can really mess with you, especially when you believe in the person and you know that they're capable. It's a weird thing, but you've got to figure out how to be okay with being the last one standing. Sometimes it feels like your whole team is crumbling around you. And you know what? That happens. I have countless friends and even some of my personally sponsored leaders who have had to rebuild their teams for one reason or another, because the people that they recruited early in their business weren't quite the best fit, or just Murphy's Law happened and everybody's life went crazy all at once. And you know what? That happens.
or all of a sudden you drop rank. I mean, I know so many people can relate to this in the network, but when somebody becomes a 5-star diamond, it's like super amazing and it's like really shiny and just awesome. And a lot of times what happens is a couple weeks after they finish their 5-star qualification, they drop to 1-star. So they were on this huge high and it was 5-star, yay, big, huge goal. They like have all this access to new stuff or whatever. And then they are 1-star. And it's like, what just happened? You know, what just happened? Did I just build this thing on sand? That happens, you guys. This business is very much an ebb and flow. Okay. So you reach a giant goal, you maybe are set back a little bit, then you kind of rebuild and then you step back. You got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with the last one being the last one standing. When your coaches start to quit, when your coaches start to go inactive, I think you start to ask yourself, am I the crazy one? Like all these other people are like, nah, this isn't for me. Nah, I quit. Nah, this is too hard. No, I'm not making enough money, blah, blah, blah. And you start to think to yourself, wait a second, am I the one being fooled here? Because it's normal. Like when you're the only one within your team that's holding strong or that's focused on goals or that's willing to, you know, to sweat for something that you want for your family and your business, and everybody else kind of drops out, you start to think, am I crazy? But you're not crazy. You're not the crazy one. You're just the one that's married to the goal, that's ready to make it happen. There are going to be seasons in your business where there is just absolutely no reward. And you know what? I wish that was like a checkbox on the coach application, because you got to be okay with that. There are seasons of no reward. And for new coaches, that is tough because you don't really have a big reason why you should believe it's going to pay off. Unless you're close with somebody, you know, in the business who has seen the payoff, who is telling you, you know, push forward because it's worth it. And I'll be that person to you right now. Push forward. I can't tell you how many weeks in my business I felt like a ginormous failure. I felt like I was working like way more than I was working as a nurse. I was sleeping way less than I ever had. I was hearing way more complaints from my coaches, and my paycheck was not increasing, you know? So there was a serious season, multiple seasons of no reward. If you guys have not read the Compound Effect, you gotta, because that analogy is still my very favorite. Building success in this business is like pumping the well, you know, pumping an old school well on someone's country farm. And, you know, it's really hard. It's really rusty. It takes a lot of work. You're sweating bullets and there's no water coming out. And most people quit. That's your business. You know, most people quit because you're working really hard. You're trying to help people. You're staying up late. You're sacrificing things that you enjoy, and you're not getting the result that you want. No water's coming out. And then there's a second group of people that's pumping the well. Eventually there's a couple drops that come out and they're so mad. They're like, I've been working this hard and I get a check for $14. You know, they're like, forget it. You know, I'm working this hard and I've got, you know, all I could get was, you know, one person to join my team or whatever. So they quit. And then there's a third group of people who continue to, they stay steadfast and they stay tenacious and resilient, and they keep pumping that well. And before you know it, it's a giant stream of water flowing out of the well and something that cannot be stopped. And it's such a powerful force. The only thing that you have to do to keep that stream going is pump the well every so often. And so that's what all of us are in. And there are seasons of that. There are seasons of no reward. There are seasons of no water. And you got to be okay with that. You've got to have that belief in yourself, belief in the business model, belief that helping people matters. And so the level at which you support your challengers, the level at which you support your coaches is going to pay off for you. Eventually. You don't know when, but eventually it will. When coaches quit, when coaches go inactive, you are at risk for developing this scarcity mindset. Like, oh gosh, I'm never going to get anybody. All my people quit. I'm not going to be able to maintain this, or I'm not going to be able to get Success Club next month. And so you start to give in to this scarcity mindset, which kills your confidence and keeps you paralyzed. So you've got to fight that scarcity mindset. You've got to believe in abundance, believe that you're capable, believe that you will grow into the leader that you need to be to lead your dream team. And then the last thing I have on this slide is just Emerald on repeat. I've been talking to a lot of my PS coaches about this. People are overcomplicating rank advancements in this business. I see that it's like the more stuff, the more trainings we get, the more lofty it sounds to get, or it seems to get to a certain rank. You guys, this entire business is built on getting to Emerald and then doing it again, and then doing it again, and then doing it again. Emerald on repeat. If you get to Emerald, you've hit the most important, in my opinion, if you've hit Emerald, you have hit the most important milestone in your business, because you've probably read my post in the Coach Family. If not, maybe go back to it. But you put some skin in the game. If you can get to Emerald, then you can do it again. And then you can do it one more time, and then maybe 2 other times. And then you can teach one of your coaches to get to Emerald because you've done it. And then you can teach one more, and then you're Diamond. And then you teach that Diamond, you teach your Emerald how to get to Diamond, and then you're 1-star. And so stop complicating it. It's like, I hesitate to come out with more training or more videos, because then I don't want to hear, oh, I can't do it because I haven't watched this training yet, or oh, I don't know what to do because I forget what it said in that training. Like, it's not, I'm not going to say you're going to do it in your sleep. It takes effort, but my gosh, it's just Emerald on repeat. Like, don't overcomplicate it. Don't paralyze yourself with thinking that it's harder or that you're not capable. You're very capable. When coaches quit, you got to be okay with being the last one standing. Just pump the well. Know that there are seasons of no reward, and it absolutely will pay off. Okay, so the last point here, coaches who sort of find this weird standstill in their business, they feel paralyzed, it's after they reach a goal. So that might sound crazy, but speaking from my experience, I haven't felt that with every goal, but I have felt that with a couple of them. And so some of you may have felt that way. I see this a lot when people hit Diamond. They hit Diamond and they work really hard. They stay really focused. Like, their whole journey as a coach has always been fixed on Diamond. And so then they get to Diamond and they're like, now what? Now what the heck am I supposed to do? Like, I got to do this all over again, or I need a break, or something, and so they stop doing what got them to Diamond, and then they fall out of Diamond. I mean, it's sort of like, well, duh, hashtag duh. If you stop doing what got you there, it's only inevitable that you will fall, or that you will, fall's like kind of too harsh of a word, but that you'll, maybe kind of fall back a little bit or step back a little bit. So you got to keep doing what got you there. But when you reach a big goal in your business, you've got to be able to switch your focus. So for me, for example, when I hit 15-star with my lovely Diamonds, I didn't care if I got to 16-star, I didn't really care about getting to 18-star because that's not a thing. So I had to reevaluate where my focus was. And so for a long time, my focus was not on my rank, but on my coach's rank. Like, how can I help my coaches reach the ranks that they want to reach? Or how can I help my new coaches get started better? You just have to switch your focus until you figure out what's your next goal. Like, what is the next thing that's meaningful for you? Reinvent yourself a little bit. Build up your why a little bit more. Because when you reach whatever that giant goal is of yours, when you've reached it, usually you've got to readjust your why. You've got to do some soul searching and allow yourself to dream bigger. And I know a lot of people kind of go through this after they reach 5-star elite. They're like, oh gosh, now what am I supposed to do? Or I feel so burnt out because I worked so hard with my team to reach this big goal. And the thing is, you got to figure out, how are you going to stay connected to your goal? Maybe you need to switch your focus a little bit and kind of work on a different area, strengthen a different area of your business, but reinvent yourself and build your why. But you guys, don't die a slow death. When you are paralyzed in your business, it is predictable what's going to happen. And this is kind of blunt, but when I see coaches stall out in their business, it is a matter of time before they die a slow death, because they start to make excuses. They start to be less and less connected to the community. They aren't getting recognized, so that doesn't always feel very good when everybody else is getting recognized and not you. So don't die a slow death. Don't allow yourself to stay paralyzed in your business. When you're feeling overwhelmed, simplify. When you get off track, ask for accountability. When you miss a goal, reassess and reevaluate, and welcome to the club. Everybody misses goals. When coaches start to quit, be okay with being the last person standing. Be okay pumping the well and having seasons of no reward, knowing full well, if you stick with this, it's going to pay off. Like, a giant percentage of success in this business is your willingness to stick with it. I just got another message. I got multiple messages this week from my coaches who I love and adore, saying that they're stepping back, and it's heartbreaking. But I can't let that derail me because I got big goals for my family and I want to help a lot of people. And so when I do reach those goals, I'm going to reevaluate. I'm going to reinvent myself. I'm going to start upgrading my skills. When you reach a goal, Jessica, you hit Emerald today. It's time to upgrade your skills, right? When you hit a goal, whether it's big or small, it's time to upgrade your skills. It's time to say, okay, what do I got to become? What do I have to grow into in order to reach my next goal? Don't give up. Great things take time. We all know that, you guys. So upgrade your skills. When I've seen the best growth periods in my business, it's when I've done more than what was just required. It's when I said, you know what, this kind of stinks right now. This feeling kind of stinks. When my coach quit, I missed my Success Club goal or whatever. I didn't hit my rank advancement goal. And we start to kind of justify like, oh, well, it got less fun when I put pressure on myself or blah, blah, blah. And that's okay. Everybody's style of reaching for goals is different. That's cool. But upgrade your skills. Like, you know, be okay with saying, you know what, I kind of dropped the ball in this area. So I'm going to figure out what I can do to upgrade my skills so that doesn't happen again, so that my rebound is even better. Don't be paralyzed in your business. When crisis happens, when things aren't going your way in your business, in your personal goals, don't allow that to spiral downward. Recognize those things that are kind of getting in the way and figure out what you're going to do to stop that, to allow yourself to keep moving forward. It's just one step at a time. Emerald on repeat, right? And find joy in the vital behaviors. Like if you're doing the vital behaviors and you're just like so bitter about it and complaining, it's never going to be fun. So you got to figure out a way to have fun while you're working your business. Have fun with your success partners. Dive into the team and find people that you connect with so that it's fun for you. You know, even on a bad day, you've got a great group of friends that are going to kind of pick you up and help you snap out of it. So business paralysis will absolutely stop you in your tracks. It will deter you. It will prevent your family from achieving goals in this business that allow them to live an incredible life. And that's the truth. I'm on the other side of it. I still experience incredible frustrations in my business, but you learn and you grow anyway. I mean, I'm in a season of hustle right now, and I'm not going to let people who quit deter me. And so I hope I'm in good company there. I hope that I am around coaches who are resilient themselves and are willing to work hard for what's important to them. They're willing to be the last one standing if it's something that they stand for, because I know that's mine. So don't die a slow death. Don't allow yourself to stay in this paralysis mode for too long. Snap out of it, simplify, and have fun doing the vital behaviors. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. I'm sorry I went over a little bit, but I appreciate you joining me, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.